विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलनात् वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यभिमः योगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Verse 18 अन्तवन्त इमे देहाः नित्यस्योक्ताः शरीरिणः अनाशिनो प्रमेयस्य तस्माद्युध्यस्व भारत। So this bodies of the embodied one, the self is the one who is embodied and it is not subject to change and destruction, anashinaha nityasya, and which is not available as an object of knowledge, aprameyasya, are said to be subject to, and means the bodies are subject to, and one which is available in the body, well, he is not subject to destruction, etc. It is not even object of knowledge. And therefore, hey Bharata, hey Arjuna, just get up and fight. Bharata, Bha also indicates, Bha means knowledge. And Rata means committed to. One who is committed to knowledge. Right now he is committed to knowledge. That's how he has surrendered to the Bhagavad, and for knowledge only. And so that he can come out of this delusion, etc., come out of the sorrow. And so it's a good word, Bharata. Anyway, so yesterday we were seeing the word aprameyasya. And we started with aprameya means an object of knowledge. Pramata means a subject, knower. And pramanam means a means of knowledge, which is employed by the knower in order to know an object of knowledge called prameya. And once he employs the pramana, the means of knowledge, in order to know the object of knowledge, what is generated is called knowledge, that is prama. So four things are there: pramata, knower; prameya, object of knowledge; and pramanam, means of knowledge, and prama, knowledge. So this is how four things are there. And Bhagavan here he says here that he is not a subject of, he is not, Atma is not an object of knowledge. And we were discussing yesterday several things in this. And when we say it is not an object of knowledge, means no means of knowledge can know Atma. Therefore, if one particular object is such that it may not be known by one means of knowledge, but may be known by other means of knowledge. Like a form is there, right? A color is there. Well, if I employ this means of knowledge, ears, I will not know. But at least I can know through the eyes. Then definitely I cannot call this clip as aprameya. I cannot call that it will never be an object of knowledge. It will be object of knowledge through a particular means of knowledge. Bhagavan here clearly says it is not an object of knowledge through any means of knowledge. We have to put this thing in bracket. It is not an object of knowledge through any means of knowledge, including Veda, including Shabda, that is the words. Veda means words. Words give knowledge that you know very well. And therefore, Atma cannot be known even by Veda. Then why do we study the Bhagavad Gita? We are studying Bhagavad Gita for the sake of getting the knowledge of Atma. Then I should say the Bhagavad Gita or the words of the Veda are means of knowledge for knowing Atma. In that case, Atma becomes an object of knowledge. If Atma becomes an object of knowledge, I should say Atma is prameya. But here it is said aprameya, means even by the means of knowledge called Veda or the words of the Veda, it is not known. Then what for the study? Why we are studying this? How can this Vedanta etc. Veda means here Vedanta. How can the Vedanta become pramana or means of knowledge for Atma? We have to know this. Because we always say Vedanto Nama Upanishad Pramanam. That's a ukti. Vedanto Nama Upanishad Pramanam. Vedanta means this Upanishad. And the word Upanishad itself indicates self-knowledge. And therefore, self is through the words of Upanishad. Then it becomes an object of knowledge. If it becomes an object of knowledge, Bhagavan has to correct it. He has to remove that word from that. Aprameya instead it should be aprameya. And therefore Bhashyakara himself discusses all this. We will not go into Bhashya, but we will just take a essence of the Bhashyam. Bhashyakara says Atma is not known through any pramanam, including Veda, because it is not an object of knowledge. And thinking that Atma could be known by, through this means of knowledge, a person goes to a guru and does a lot of service. It used to be in the Upanishad like that. When the disciple comes for that, I want to know Atma, I want to know the Brahman. Then Acharya says, go and serve in Gurukulam, and then you will then you ask me a question, and then I will tell you if I know. That also they will say. If I know, I will tell you. And the person does a lot of service, and at the end this Acharya says that, Atma is not known through even Vedas also, because it is a prameya. It's not an object of knowledge. What will happen? So such a person thinks that it has been a waste it has all been a waste. So he or she also thinks that Atma is understood perhaps through the pratyakshadi pramana. Some people have that kind of a thing. Atma will sometime it will become a pratyaksha in a Brahma Muhurta in the morning. It may in the morning I will come to know. That's how people sometimes with such a intense desire, they sit in the morning so that someday they will come across this Atma. Puja Swami used to tell, one day I will stumble upon Brahman, something like that. So, Pratyakshadi Pramana, it may become one day, not today, then in future it may become an object of knowledge through Pratyakshadi Pramana. Bhashyakara refutes this notion and says this Atma is not known by Pratyakshadi. Adi means you know very well. I have told you what? Pratyaksha, Anumana, Upamana, Arthapatti, Anupalabdhi and Shabda. There are 6 means of knowledge available to the human being. And through different means of knowledge, he gathers different types of knowledges of the world. And of course, yesterday I told you, but today I may brief you. So, Atma is not known through any means of knowledge, including Veda, that is Shabda. So, but one thing is certain, when it is said that, one thing is certain that before you listen to this Vedanta Shastra, Atma must be there, right? Atma must be there, otherwise who will listen? Right now I am speaking. And then if I am going to prove your existence, then before I start talking about you are not there, then to whom I am talking? To whom I am talking? So definitely the existence of Atma is not, please keep this thing in mind. Existence of Atma is not established by a pramana called Vedanta. So Veda does not establish, or Vedanta or Upanishad or Bhagavad Gita does not establish the existence of Atma. But Swamiji, means of knowledge gives a knowledge. Yes, gives a knowledge and establish the existence of a particular thing. Like perception, I will start with the perception. Like if the existence of Atma were to be established by any of the pramana, resulting in such knowledge as like this. You know, this is a clip, this is a mobile, this is a pen. What means of knowledge I am using and you are using right now? Perception. Perception. A contact with the perception means a knowledge. Perception is a means of knowledge in which a sense organ contacts the sense object. That's all. So this is clip, this is pen, this is mobile, this is paper, this is book, etc., etc. When I say, definitely you know the object through the sense organs, and you say this is means the particular object's existence is established. When sense organ contact a sense object, immediately what will arise? That object is. Pen is. Mobile is. Paper is. Clip is. How will you say clip is? Swamiji, I see that. I see that. So means of knowledge called senses, different senses, contact the sense object and establish the existence of an object. Therefore, means of knowledge always establishes the existence of respective objects. Same way, if you feel that Vedanta also is a means of knowledge and it will establish the existence of Atma, well, that's not, then you forget it. Because even before he employs a pramana or a teacher employs a pramana, that person, the conscious being, the Atma must be there. So this is a different kind of a thing. The existence of Atma is not established by the Veda or by the Shabda or by the Vedanta, whatever you say. It doesn't, because before that he should be there. As a knower, he should be there. A disciple comes to Vedanta and exposes himself, it automatically establishes that that person is there, right? So when he employs that pramana, I mean the means of knowledge, at that time his existence is established. No, before that. So Vedanta, Vichara, etc., inquiry can only be done when there is Atma to inquire, when there is a conscious being to inquire. So if Vedanta were to establish the existence of Atma, that means until one inquired into Vedanta, Atma did not exist, but he exists. As a knower, he exists. Atma exists as a knower. So, definitely, if he was not there, then then to whom this Acharya is telling that Atma is limitless? And therefore, and who listens to Vedanta? Then, very first thing, who listens to Vedanta if he is not there at all? Because before operating the pramana or the means of knowledge, definitely Atma's existence is established. And therefore, generally the other means of knowledge, by giving the knowledge of by giving the knowledge of respective objects, its existence gets established. And so here, one who wants to know definitely is the same one who operates the pramana also for gathering the knowledge. And therefore, Atma must be existent even before you operate any pramana, that is Vedanta, etc. And therefore, Atma's existence is not established by the means of knowledge called Vedanta. Then Atma must be self-revealing, self-existent. Then what is the use of Vedanta? Then there is no use of Vedanta, etc. That we will discuss little later. But before that, the role of this pramana I have to talk about. And therefore, Vedas does not establish Atma or existence of Atma. Just like the one part of the Veda established the existence of few things. Veda establishes heaven. That is, heaven is existence of heaven. Veda establishes punyam and papam. That there is something called punyam and papam. Anybody in the creation who says that there is something called punyam and there is something called papam, definitely the source is Veda only. Definitely. Therefore, through Veda. But we have never, Swamiji, gone to Veda. Well, you must have got the information from your parents or from somebody. They must have referred, or they may not have referred, then they are, in the generations. So ultimately the source, the means of knowledge for the existence of punyam and papam, for the existence of several lokas, for the existence of punarjanma, purva janma, for the existence of devatas, for the existence of the bodies of the devatas, all this, are they devatas or not? How will you know? Go to the means of knowledge called Veda. So Veda establishes something which is unknown to me and establish the existence of that particular thing, makes through making me known about that thing. Like Swarga is unknown to me, definitely. But there is something called Swarga established by the Veda. And the earlier portion of the Veda established that. And the end portion of the Veda, which we call Vedanta, Anta means end portion, then end portion of the Veda establishes not existence of Atma. Atma is already self-existent. It does not establish. One who comes to Vedanta, Upanishad, definitely that's existence is already proved. Otherwise, not that he comes to Vedanta and says, oh, Atma is. The means of knowledge tells him, like heaven is, same way Atma is. No, not that. The one who comes as a knower to the means of knowledge called Vedanta, his existence is already established. Then what is the role of the Vedanta? Then there is no role. Because we feel that the role of any means of knowledge is to establish the existence of that thing which I was not knowing, and the particular means of knowledge has told me that this particular thing is, which was unknown to me. Now I know. And I know it means what? I know that it is there. Swarga is there. Punya Papam is there. Heaven is there. This is there. Devatas are there. Klip is there. Something like that. And there are other means of knowledge also which establish that. Now I will tell you something more about other means of knowledge also. They establish the existence. What happens is, first, perception definitely establishes the existence of objects. Out of this world, in this world, several things' existence are established by perception. Whatever you can contact through the sense organs, whatever you come in contact with, that becomes known to you and its existence is established. Now leave aside perception. That's for sure. That it is, it proves the existence of certain varieties of the objects called sound, smell and everything, form and color, and then touch and taste. Varieties of the objects of taste and objects of smell, and so its existence gets established by knowing those things through the sense organs. That's a perception. Then second thing is inference. Inference also establishes, inference also gives, it's a means of knowledge, gives you knowledge of something and proves the existence of it. Like yesterday I gave you an example that there is a particular car in the ashram, suppose, and there is a particular car which I am using, and you have seen a relationship between me and that car, that this particular car Swamiji is using, maybe Swamiji's car, let's say, maybe Swamiji's car. So you have find a invariable relationship between me and the car several times, and then when the car is there, well, you are seeing a car, but you definitely get a knowledge of me, means definitely get the existence of me in the ashram. How? Because whenever this car is, Swami is. Whenever, right? Whenever the car is, Swami is. So you see the car, but you get a knowledge of a Swami. That Swami is in the ashram. Is. So existence of Swami is established through the means of knowledge called inference. Car is perceived, but you get a knowledge of something which you don't perceive. Still its existence is established through inference. This is a second means of knowledge you employ. There are various objects in the world for which those objects you don't see them. Therefore you don't know. And because your senses are not able to contact, because it may be not in the range of the senses, let's say, sense organs. Still you know its existence. How? Another means of knowledge called inference. We do lots of inference in our daily activity. Several. In fact, a particular kind of a mentality of a person exists. That also I know through inference, because you cannot perceive through the senses somebody's mind. But you perceive the face, you perceive the movement of eyes, you perceive a certain gesture of the body, and you definitely come to know that this person has this thing in his mind. And sometimes it turns out to be true. Well, then you are not perceiving through the senses. You don't perceive somebody's mind through the senses. Still, certain thoughts are existent. Certain pattern of thinking exists in a person. How will you know? You have utilized another means of knowledge called inference. Through inference, because you know such and such gestures are there, then this kind of mentality is there. Such and such type of face is there, well, anger is there. Such and such type of face is there, love is there. You can see that. That's how in English they always say eyes is a mirror of a person's mind. So eyes reveal what is in your mind. So even through the eyes I can see that the person has this kind of a thinking. So the existence of somebody's thinking, well, it is not perceived directly, but you come to know through inference. There is a second, inference. Certain things are perceived directly and you know existence. Certain things are inferred and you know existence. Third, upamanam, illustration. Well, if I want to tell you that, in Gujarat, these buffaloes give lot of milk, lots of milk compared to our cows. They give so much of milk in especially one district called Mehsana district, in county, district means a county. And in that there are several buffaloes and they produce so much milk. And therefore Then you ask me, Swamiji, what is this buffalo? Suppose, maybe possible, because in the US, I don't know whether here buffaloes are there or not. But I assume that you don't know buffalo. Now, how will I give a knowledge of buffalo and thereby I prove the existence of buffalo? How? Well, a third means of knowledge is there. I give illustration. I say, you have a bison here, perhaps I don't know, but bison. If this buffalo is like a bison, suppose. I hope that you know. Suppose somebody says, I don't know even bison, then there will be a problem. Then the whole example goes in vain. But I believe that you know bison. So when I say, just see this, buffalo is like a bison. Well, you get a knowledge of buffalo and thereby existence of buffalo, right? So I have employed the means of knowledge, and that means of knowledge is illustration, similarity, drashtantaha. So I have given you an example of a bison and which has a similarity with that particular animal called buffalo, and thereby I have given you knowledge of buffalo, and thereby existence of buffalo is proved. There is a third means of knowledge. Fourth means of knowledge is arthapatti. Arthapatti. And arthapatti is also like a particular disease, right? A particular disease which is unknown. And therefore they employ this means of knowledge, that the characteristic of this disease is not fitting into our known criteria. And therefore they find out a new disease. That if such and such disease exists, the coughing exists, this exists, that exists. But there is no chest pain, etc. It is not a common flu. Is something looks like a common flu, but it is not. In common flu, the percentage of death is 0.1%. Well, this looks like flu, but it is not flu. Here the death rate is more than 2%. Therefore, this is something different. Oh, this is a particular different kind of a disease. So when they arrive through various data, negating all the possibilities of a common flu and that and pneumonia and this, several things, and they have discovered a new disease. They have employed the existence of the disease and thereby existence of particular virus. All this through a means of knowledge by removing various possibilities. There is a special kind of a means of knowledge called presumption, arthapatti. And thereby also you know disease, and then you know other things also. The cause of the disease, and thereby you know even the cure of the disease, and thereby you know even side effects of the disease. All this becomes existent to you. All this becomes known to you, and thereby the existence also is proved. Cure is existent now. This is existent now. The cause also is the particular virus is existent now. Everything you come to know, and the existence also is proved through the means of knowledge called presumption, arthapatti. Fifth is anupalabdhi. Something is existent and now you know the absence of that particular thing. For that you employ a special means of knowledge, and that's called anupalabdhi. Like a particular dish is prepared for, let's say Indian dish, which generally has all certain ingredients. And now you come to know that this particular ingredient is absent today, like salt. Sometimes, they make, our all mother and all, they sometimes make the things, sometimes they just forget to add a salt. So you employ the means of knowledge now called absence. You eat the dish and you say, oh, this thing is absent in this. The salt is absent in this particular dish. Well, so the absence of a particular thing which is existent actually, but the absence of it right now you come to know through the means of knowledge called anupalabdhi. Anupalabdhi. Simple thing. This is very common. Generally our pocket has all the time money, and sometimes when we go out and we feel that there is money in the pocket, and you keep the pocket and go, or in the purse. Ladies have the purse, and then they go out, and when like to give for a car, you have to pay the money, and you open the purse, and you realize it is not there. So generally the money will be there in the purse, but right now you come to know the absence of it. Well, so this even existence of an absence of a particular thing, money or whatever, or a person, everything you come to know through a particular means of knowledge called anupalabdhi. Upalabdhi means presence. Anupalabdhi, absence. Then sixth thing is Shabda. That's the words. And words, of course, definitely is of two types. In the words which we employ in our transaction to give a knowledge to others, those words give knowledge of something. That knowledge, that particular knowledge is called indirect knowledge. Indirect knowledge of a thing you will get, and thereby the existence also is proved. As I told you clearly, like there is a very beautiful statue of Sardar Patel in Gujarat, and that's the highest statue in the world, 182 meters or something. So, well, and it's all made up of iron. It's on the bank of Narmada, and where they have constructed a dam, there itself they have put this, and there are several other things, the parks and this, all I described to you. Well, that thing you came to know now about this statue and the place, etc., but you have an indirect knowledge. And now you came to know that such thing exists. Now you came to know. Well, but still you have an indirect knowledge. So words also becomes a means of knowledge, giving a certain knowledge about the objects, and that knowledge will be indirect knowledge. But definitely by giving even indirect knowledge, the existence of those objects or that object is established. I told you yesterday about a World Trade Center, New World Trade Center. Of course, they don't call it as a World Trade Center, they call something else. But I was having indirect knowledge earlier, and before few months I happened to go there and I saw. So, well, but when I was in Ahmedabad itself, they told that they have constructed a new building, etc. And it was a very tall building, etc. All these things. Well, in my mind, I got an indirect knowledge and existence of that particular building also, that yes, such and such building exists. I have not seen, but it exists. How did you know? Somebody told. The person who has come from here to Ahmedabad has told. So his words has become a means of knowledge for me. And this is about regarding these words which are employed by human being. Then words employed by Shastra also gives you knowledge. And that knowledge also will be indirect knowledge, especially the earlier part of the Veda. That's called Pravritti Shastra or Karma Kanda, etc. Well, it gives a knowledge, and that knowledge also is of four kinds. In Veda, the Purva Vibhaga of the Veda gives you the knowledge, and we can divide this knowledge into four parts. The first thing is certain things you know, and certain things is unknown to you. In that case, Veda has a role to play. Suppose, let me tell you a little differently. Veda means a body of knowledge, because the root vid indicates to know. It has a meaning to know. Veda means a body of knowledge. In that, let us keep it aside the later portion of the Veda. That's called Vedanta. The earlier portion of the Veda gives a knowledge, but knowledge of what? Knowledge of means and ends. Sometimes means are known, end is not known. Veda helps in that case. What will be the end? Like, you do some charity and you do some service, you help others. Well, it's known to you. But such actions means what will it generate? You don't know. Swamiji generates punyam. Well, Veda has entered. Veda has entered already. No, there is no need of Veda. Then how did you know that there is punyam? Have you come across punyam? Punyam is something, definition of punyam is which you never come across. Not in this life. In any life you will never come across. And still it is existent. Well, how will you establish the existence? How will you know it? Veda has said, through me. So when something is known, that action is known to you, to help others, etc., benevolent action, noble actions, that is known to you. But what will it generate? What is the end of it? Well, Veda says, I have to tell you. So known means unknown end. Veda has a usage. Unknown means known end. There also Veda has a role. And unknown means what? Unknown end means what? Okay, what is known to me as an end? Yeah, I know rain. I know child. Several other things I know. But to get the rain, to get the child, if the known means are all exhausted, then people go to Veda to find the means for it. So means are not known. You will have to surrender to Veda. That particular yaga called Kariri yaga, etc., brings the rain. Well, it is very known now. We have done also in Anaikatya also in this particular yaga, and we have brought the rain definitely. And in Ahmedabad also we have done, and it has come even in the drought season. We have got the rain anyway. But a person has employed all known means to get a son, etc., to get a child, and well, he has not got. Then Acharyas, our Shankaracharya only tells to do Putra Kameshti Yaga. And that's how Dasharatha also did, of course. So, end is known, child is known. Veda has not to establish that there is something called child or there is something called rain. Veda is not to establish. No, end is known to you, but the means to get that end is not known. That's where the Veda plays a role. Third, unknown means unknown end. There also Veda has a role to play. Unknown means unknown end. Swarga, unknown end. No one has seen Swarga. Who has gone to Swarga has never come back or called over a mobile or even not did a WhatsApp that yes, I am in Swarga, don't worry, it is there. No, it's not. Means is unknown. End is also unknown. And to get the Swarga, what are the means also is unknown. A particular yaga has to be done, etc. for Swarga. Simple noble action will not give the Swarga. It will give you, it generates a punyam, etc. Well, it's a different thing. But if you want to go to and enjoy the life with celestial objects of security and celestial objects of pleasure and all, well, you are not interested in this local music, pop music. Then you are interested in some different kind of music. Yeah, celestial music in which Apsaras play and all this. Anyway, Gandharvas, Apsaras does a dance, etc. whatever it is. Ultimately, so there is something called Swarga. There are different kinds of objects of pleasure, etc. in the Swarga. And what kind of a yonis are there? All these things. Anything regarding Swarga, anything, starting from the word Swarga, all is known through Veda. The existence of Swarga and the objects of the Swarga and everything, the existence gets established through Veda only. And the means also gets established through Veda. And therefore, Swarga Kamaha Jyotishtomena Yajeta. Jyotishtomena Swarga Kamo Yajeta. Swarga Kamaha. Swargaha Kamaha Yasya Saha Swarga Kamaha. One who has a desire of a Swarga, definitely he does this Jyotishtomaya. What is that? Yeah, that's how go to Veda. Go to Veda, it talks about it. It gives you the entire know-how of how to perform the yaga, etc. So these are the way. So Veda's Purva Vibhaga gives you varieties of the knowledge pertaining to different objects called Devata, Punya, Papa, Swarga, etc. And about the rituals also and how they are to be done and how they generate through the Punya, etc. All these things is told by Veda, and you thereby the existence of those things also get established in your mind. So Veda's Purva Vibhaga also gives this, and therefore the Swarga, it may be a Swarga, it may be Punya, it may be Papa, it may be Devata, all are called Prameyaha, objects of knowledge. So even the sixth Pramana called words, not the words of you and me, words of Veda, gives you knowledge of objects, and thereby their existence gets proved. Well, all the six means of knowledge are there. And Ved Anta Vibhaga also in form of words, but that gives you knowledge of the self. But here the only thing is, even if it gives it knowledge, it gives me a knowledge of Atma, but the existence of Atma is not established by the Vedanta. One who goes to Vedanta, definitely he is an existent being, he is a conscious being, and he knows himself. Atma is something which is not unknown to me, right? Therefore, it's not that you go to Vedanta and open the book, or the teacher will say, okay, you are. Okay, Swami, that's why I say, now I am. No. You are known to yourself. You are known to yourself. Atma is self-revealing, self-existent. And such a person goes to Vedanta for what then? For what? See, if I know myself that I exist, and I know myself, why should I go to Veda? Why should I go to Upanishad or the Vedanta? So the problem is, we have come to the problem is, what about the Shastra? I feel Vedanta is meaningless. And if I already know the Atma, then definitely the Vedanta Shastra cannot become the means of knowledge. Any means of knowledge establish the existence of an object by giving the knowledge of it. And Atma is already existent. Then Vedanta is talking about Atma, but Atma is already existent. And not only existent, I know, I am, whatever it is. And therefore, Bhashyakara says, Shastra or Vedanta Shastra or Upanishad is definitely a Pramanam. Vedanto Nama Upanishad Pramanam. So Upanishad has a status of a Pramanam. Upanishad is definitely a means of knowledge. Then what? In which way it makes me know the Atma? Well, we say the Shastra is not a Pramanam for the existence of Atma to be established. Existence of Atma is not established by the Vedanta. Then the Shastra has a status of Pramanam because it removes the wrong notions about the Atma. That's all. It removes the wrong notions about the Atma. Atma by nature is Param Brahma. which is not known to me. Atma by nature is all pervading, not known to me. Atma by nature is unconnected to everything, not known to me. Atma by nature is free from birth and death, not known to me. Atma is by nature free from all the three bodies, not known to me. Atma is by nature free from all the three states of experience called waker, dreamer, deep sleeper, not known to me. Atma by nature alone is a reality, and everything else is just an appearance or seemingly existent. And not only that, the entire world borrows the existence from you, shines on account of you, and you are self-existent and self-shining, self-revealing, not known to me. Well, so much of thing. Do you know all this? No. Well, then we have a role to play. Who says Shastra plus Acharya? Because we have to establish our importance. So, all the time in every class, we establish our importance first. So, Shastra plus Acharya has a role to play, very big role to play. And therefore, a Shastra has a status of Pramana. It is a means of knowledge. Why? Because the definition of the means of knowledge very well fits into Vedanta. What is the definition of means of knowledge? Anadigatam, abaditam, arthavat, bodhakam, pramanam. Anadigatam means which is not known by other means of knowledge. One thing. This object of knowledge is such which is not known by other means of knowledge. One thing. Abaditam. And whatever this particular means of knowledge reveal about that object of knowledge will not be contradicted by other means of knowledge. Will not be challenged by other means of knowledge. Third, arthavat. Definitely by giving the knowledge of that particular object, each means of knowledge, the pramanam should serve the purpose. And well, it serves the purpose. Arthavat bodhakam. So which serves the purpose, and bodhakam means it is a means of knowledge. This is a definition. Bodhakam means gives knowledge. So the means of knowledge gives you a knowledge which will serve the purpose, which will not be contradicted by other means of knowledge, and which will not be known through other means of knowledge. And well, whatever available means of knowledge to a human being, to you, kindly check. Start with the eyes. Whether eyes, can I call eyes as a means of knowledge or not? Can this eyes have a status of means of knowledge or not? Just see. You will find it is. It is a means of knowledge. Because color reveals the eyes reveal the colors. Color, form. As object of knowledge. Eyes is a means of knowledge. And well, definitely eyes, the color or form which is revealed by the eyes cannot be known by other means of knowledge. Cannot be known. So anadigatam fits into eyes. Okay, first thing. Abaditam also fits into eyes. Abaditam means cannot be challenged. Whatever is revealed through the means of knowledge called eyes, color, etc., well, it cannot be challenged by other means of knowledge. Ears cannot come and say, no. Oh eyes, you are seeing something wrong. You are seeing a blue color, but it's not blue, it is black. Ears say, well, cannot. Never. Ears can never say anything about these colors, etc. So, whatever is revealed through the means of knowledge called eyes, colors, etc., which is revealed, well, cannot be challenged by ears and nose and other things. Third, arthavat. By revealing the colors and forms, definitely a purpose is served in human life. So much of purpose is served. So much of purpose. If eyes are not there, if that person requires another human being, complete other human being is required. If person loses the eyes, I tell you, he needs another human being permanently. I mean, to an extent. No, Swamiji, if a particular person is blind and he doesn't need, he carries out everything. But I tell you, there are limitations. So, this serves a purpose. Eyes serve a purpose by giving the knowledge of colors. Arthavat. Artha means prayojan, purpose. So, that pramana is arthavat, means pramana possesses the purpose. It has a purpose. Bodhakam. Bodhakam means it gives a knowledge. So, that is the definition of pramana. And so, eyes, ears, etc., senses, inference. If a person cannot infer, I tell you, in his transaction there will be lots of quarrels. You have to infer. One who has a good inferring capacity is a smart person. You should behave accordingly. When you see that somebody's face and red hot, etc., or through eyes, etc., you come to know that what is going on in his mind. Definitely, suppose anger is there, then you take care. I mean, you be away for some time, and therefore, otherwise you will be insulted, etc. So people infer a lot of things, and that's how they get the things done also several times. Well, so that's not our topic, but inference is also a very, very purposeful thing. And then upamana, etc., everywhere purpose is there. And so this is ultimately whatever means of knowledge we have, sixfold means of knowledge we have, all give a particular kind of knowledge which will not be challenged by other means of knowledge. What is given by perception cannot be challenged by inference. What is given by inference cannot be challenged by perception. Every field of every means of knowledge has its own domain. That is its own domain. In that domain, no other dares to enter. Color is a domain, sound is a domain, and taste is a domain. Well, no other means can interfere there. They don't have a scope at all to interfere. And therefore, anadhigatam, abaditam, arthavat, bodhakam, pramanam. And therefore, Atma also, Upanishad also serves a purpose by giving knowledge of Atma, not by proving the existence of Atma. That's already there. If no one goes to a means of knowledge called Upanishad, so he is already existent and he knows also himself. But what he knows about himself, well, that has brought the calamity in his life. And Upanishad gives a knowledge about that self by knowing that the person becomes liberated. Person gets freedom. Person gains moksha. Person gains happiness. Person becomes free from the fear. Everything. Well, then it has got a status that it is very purposeful, and therefore Atma by nature is Param Brahma, centered on the self. There are a lot of limitations I am feeling, a lot of discomfort I have. Well, then this Upanishad gives you a knowledge of the self which tells that, well, you are most comfortable, etc. So Atma is already Swatasiddha, or self-existence, but this Swatasiddha Atma, which is self-existent, is taken as a jiva, taken as a doer, taken as an enjoyer, and also Sukhi, Dukhi, etc. One moment he is happy and the other moment he is very sad. And so he is an individual, as such a jiva, he has taken himself, and therefore he has a knowledge of himself as an individual. Well, then Upanishad says that's not a knowledge. You have a confusion. It's all superimposition, and therefore, I have taken myself I have taken myself as just as a body, as good as body, and so this natural conclusion about myself or Atma as a jiva is due to ignorance. All this thing is told by Shastra. And not only it states that it is due to ignorance, you call yourself as an individual, you call yourself as a mortal, you call yourself as unhappy, you call yourself as ignorant. Well, these are all self-confusion. Definitely, this is your conclusion. I know. You have come to me by declaring all this. Then I'm asking you, who are you? And you are telling me all these things, that I am mortal, I am unhappy, etc., etc. Well, then you want to be free from that. I have a solution for that. I have a solution for that. I could give you knowledge. This all is due to ignorance. I could give you knowledge by which you become free from all this. Well, then the Vedanta also is arthavat pramanam. It serves a purpose. It serves a purpose. And this knowledge will not be available. Anadigatam will not be available through perception, because Atma is not available for perception. Like I say, this is mobile, this is pen, this is clay. Well, then this is Atma. Like that, like that, Atma is not available for perception. Otherwise, why to worry about, all this opening the books and studying and everything and studying Sanskrit? Why to all this? Just wherever it is, I will go and see it. But it's not. Regarding the objects, everything is possible. Regarding subject, well, it is not. Subject is something which is not available for objectification. Then how will you objectify it? Through even perception or through inference? And therefore, definitely there is a self-confusion. And there are other reasons self-confusion is there, because Atma is self-revealing. Anything which is self-revealing, you should get a good knowledge of it, that thing as it is. But there is a self-ignorance too. And therefore, being a self-ignorant, even though it is self-revealing, I don't know myself as I am. And there is likely to be confusion. What is non-self is taken. What is not I is taken as I. Because what is not I is so close, non-separate from the self. All the bodies, etc. Why body? Everything is non-separate from the Atma. And that's why in morning I told you everything is in consciousness. Without consciousness, something above consciousness, beyond consciousness, outside the boundary of consciousness, you cannot prove anything. You can't prove. And therefore, everything is there in consciousness as non-separate from the consciousness. Just as pot is all the time non-separate from the clay. Well, that's how I can say pot is in clay. Definitely I can say that. Same way. Not that there are two objects. There is a big vessel and in that there are several things. No, don't think that way. It is all, everything, entire world is non-separate from the consciousness, the self, I. Well, and being non-separate, it is so close. So instead of taking one thing, you take it as other. Well, that's how people take the pot is the real. And for them, there is no clay as such. That's how, even you say, please remove the clay. And they don't see the clay. They don't see the clay. They see the wall there, they see the pot also, but they don't see the clay. It is going to happen. In their cognition, clay doesn't come at all. That's how it is. Name and form creates so much attraction that the content of it, the truth of it is forgotten. And anyway, but so this is how Vedanta says, well, I have a role to play. Even though I don't prove your existence, because you are self-revealing, self-existent. So I have nothing to prove, but you have confusion about yourself. Being self-revealing and self-ignorant, you have concluded that you are a jiva or individual, etc. You are subject to birth, death, this, that, etc. You are subject to different kinds of limitations, limitation in time, this. Well, then I have something to tell you, which will be purposeful to you, which will make you free from all this junk, from all this junk. It will make you free. So, anadigatam, abaditam, arthavat bodhakam pramanam. Such a self is known only through the Vedanta. So, Vedanto nama Upanishad pramanam. Vedanta is a pramanam, or Upanishad is a pramanam for that. That's how we establish the validity of the Upanishad. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ
धन्यवादः। हरि ओम्।
हरि ओम्।